Self-control is not restraint. It is authority. Authority over impulse. Authority over reaction. Authority over timing. Most people think self-control means saying no. That is incomplete. Self-control means deciding once and executing without debate. Debate is where power leaks. When every impulse is negotiated, attention fragments, energy dissipates, standards soften. This happens quietly. Nothing collapses. Nothing feels urgent. Life continues, but control shifts outward. Circumstance begins to decide. Mood begins to decide. Comfort begins to decide. That is not weakness, it is default behavior. Self-control is the mechanism that interrupts this default. It does not rely on motivation. It does not require intensity. It replaces reaction with pre-selected behavior. This is why self-control scales. Talent amplifies output. Discipline stabilizes it. Self-control directs it. Without direction, power is wasted. With direction, even small force compounds. This is why self-control feels invisible. There is no display, no signal, only alignment. Alignment between intention and action. When alignment is consistent, results stop feeling random. Self-control is not dramatic, it is structural. And structure outperforms willpower every time. That is the rule. Self-control is not a personality trait, it is a system of authority. And systems, when held long enough, become unfair advantages. Most people don't lose control suddenly, they leak it. Control erodes through small permissions, harmless adjustments, minor exceptions. I'll do it later. I deserve a break. Just this once. Each phrase sounds reasonable. Together, they transfer authority away from you. Impulse does not overpower you. You authorize it. This is the mistake. People assume lack of self-control is emotional. They blame stress. They blame fatigue. They blame pressure. Pressure only exposes structure. It does not create weakness. When structure is absent, impulse fills the gap. Impulse is efficient. It offers immediate relief. It requires no planning. That is why it wins. Another misunderstanding reinforces the loss. People try to fight impulse with effort. They push harder. They resist longer. Resistance exhausts quickly. Impulse waits. Self-control is not resistance, it is prevention. You don't win by fighting temptation. You win by removing its authority. Most environments are designed to hijack attention. They reward reaction. They punish delay. Without rules, reaction becomes automatic. Automatic reaction feels like personality. It is not. It is conditioning. Conditioning can be reversed, but only through replacement. You cannot remove impulse without installing a command. That command must be simple, binary, non-negotiable. Yes or no. Now or not now. Anything flexible invites debate. Debate drains control. This is why people feel powerful in short bursts and weak over time. They rely on emotion to govern behavior. Emotion fluctuates. Control requires permanence. When authority is unclear, the loudest signal wins. Impulse is loud. Structure is quiet. Quiet systems win over time. Most people never regain control because they keep trying to feel strong. Self-control does not feel strong. It feels boring. It feels restrictive. It feels unemotional. That is exactly why it works.
Self-control changes the order of decision-making. Without it, decisions are made in the moment. They react to stimulus. They optimize for relief. With self-control, decisions are made in advance. They optimize for direction. This single change is decisive. When decisions are pre-made, impulse has nothing to negotiate with. Negotiation requires uncertainty. Certainty ends it. Self-control creates certainty. It does this by narrowing choice. Most people believe freedom comes from options. In practice, options create paralysis. Self-control reduces options to protect execution. This reduction feels limiting. It is. Limitation is the mechanism. By limiting choice, self-control preserves energy. Energy is not spent deciding, it is spent executing. Execution repeated builds reliability. Reliability builds trust. Trust first in the system, then in yourself. Another effect emerges over time. Self-control stabilizes identity. You stop asking who you are today. You act from who you already decided to be. Identity-based behavior does not fluctuate, it persists. Persistence produces consistency. Consistency produces leverage. Leverage changes outcomes without increasing effort. This is why self-control appears powerful only in hindsight. From the outside, it looks like discipline or talent. From the inside, it feels like removing noise. Noise reduction sharpens signal. When signal is clear, small actions matter. Another critical shift occurs. Self-control redefines discomfort. Discomfort stops being a threat. It becomes a cue to maintain structure. Instead of reacting to discomfort, you execute through it. Not because you enjoy it, because it has no authority. Authority has already been assigned. This is why self-control scales under pressure. Pressure amplifies impulse. Structure ignores it. The result is not intensity, it is alignment. Alignment between plan and behavior. Alignment sustained over time creates outcomes that feel disproportionate. That is what self-control actually does. It does not make you stronger, it makes your behavior obey.
Self-control is not built by resisting temptation. That approach fails. Resistance depends on energy. Energy fluctuates. Self-control is built by redesigning access to choice. You do not strengthen control in the moment of impulse. You weaken impulse before it appears. This requires pre-commitment. Rules decided early remove authority later. Most people wait for temptation to show up and then test themselves. That is backwards. By the time impulse is present, control is already compromised. Self-control is constructed upstream. It begins with fixed routines, fixed timing, fixed minimums. Minimums matter more than ambition. Ambition expands goals. Minimums protect behavior. When minimums are enforced, failure becomes unlikely. Another critical component is friction. Impulse thrives in low-friction environments. Easy access, immediate reward. Self-control increases friction intentionally, not to punish yourself, to slow reaction. Delay weakens impulse. Impulse depends on immediacy. Even small delays matter. A pause breaks momentum. Momentum favors impulse. Structure favors control. This is why elite systems look restrictive. They are designed to prevent negotiation. Negotiation is the enemy. Every time you negotiate, authority shifts. Self-control restores authority by removing the conversation. Another element is consistency. Self-control is not built by perfect days. It is built by uninterrupted ones. Interruptions reset conditioning. Consistency stabilizes it. This is why starting over feels exhausting. Control has to be rebuilt. Self-control also requires identity alignment. You must decide what behavior is acceptable before emotion enters. When identity is clear, behavior follows automatically. Automatic behavior conserves control. Over time, this creates dominance over impulse, not through force, through absence of opportunity. Impulse loses power when it is no longer consulted. This is the turning point. Self-control is not something you feel, it is something you install. Once installed, it runs quietly.
and quiet systems are the hardest to break. This requires removing negotiation from your behavior. You must decide standards before the day begins, not during pressure, not during fatigue. Pre-decision is the foundation of control. You must narrow acceptable actions. Choice invites debate. Debate transfers authority. You must stop relying on willpower. Willpower spikes and collapses. Systems persist. You must install friction where impulse thrives. Delay access, reduce visibility, increase effort. Even small barriers matter. You must separate rest from escape. Rest preserves control. Escape erodes it. You must tolerate discomfort without interpretation. Discomfort is information, not instruction. You must accept boredom without intervention. Boredom indicates stability. You must enforce minimums, not ideals. Ideals inspire, minimums execute. You must remove exception language. Just this once. I'll start tomorrow. I deserve it. These phrases dissolve authority. You must act without waiting for clarity. Clarity follows action, not the reverse. You must measure compliance, not feeling. Feelings fluctuate. Compliance does not. You must allow time to condition behavior. Conditioning requires repetition without interruption. You must accept that self-control will feel restrictive. Restriction is the mechanism. This is not a personality change. It is an installation. Once installed, control stops requiring effort. Behavior obeys automatically. That is the objective. Self-control is not built by force. It is built by design. Design outlasts emotion. That is what this requires from you. Over time, self-control changes trajectory. Not dramatically, not visibly. Direction shifts first, distance follows. When control is absent, effort scatters. Energy is spent reacting. Progress resets quietly. Nothing collapses, nothing explodes. Life simply stays the same. With self-control, the opposite happens. Behavior stabilizes. Stability lowers cost. When actions repeat without negotiation, they require less energy. Less energy extends duration. Duration allows refinement. Refinement creates leverage. Leverage produces outcomes that feel disproportionate to effort. From the outside, this looks like confidence. It is not. It is predictability. Predictable behavior earns trust. Trust attracts responsibility. Responsibility expands influence. Another consequence emerges. Decision fatigue disappears. When rules are fixed, daily life becomes lighter. Not easier, lighter. Mental space is freed. That space is used to think long-term. Long-term thinking separates trajectories. Most people live in short cycles. Impulse demands immediacy. Self-control creates delay. Delay creates perspective. Perspective improves judgment. Judgment compounds results. Meanwhile, without self-control, impulse remains in charge. Impulse optimizes for relief. Relief erases momentum. Momentum never forms. This is why people feel busy but stagnant. They are active without direction. Self-control restores direction. It does not remove desire. It reorders authority. Desire becomes input, not command. Over time, this hierarchy hardens. Behavior obeys structure. Structure outlasts emotion. Eventually, control no longer feels like effort. It feels like default. At that point, outcomes stop surprising you. They become expected. That is the long-term consequence of self-control. Not power in moments, power in direction.
Self-control is not something you activate. It is something you live inside. Once authority is established, behavior no longer asks permission. Impulse still appears, desire still speaks. They are not removed, they are demoted. They stop deciding. Most people spend their lives negotiating with themselves. Negotiation feels thoughtful, it feels mature. It is not. Negotiation is hesitation in disguise. Self-control ends the conversation, not through force, through structure. When structure is present, action becomes automatic. Automatic action does not feel powerful, it feels normal. That normality is the advantage. Because when pressure increases, nothing changes. When fatigue appears, nothing changes. When reward is delayed, nothing changes. This stability is what most people mistake for discipline or talent. It is neither. It is authority held long enough to become default. Self-control is the ability to obey your own rules without emotion interfering. That obedience compounds, not in moments of struggle, but across ordinary days. Days where nothing dramatic happens, days where no one is watching. That is where the superpower lives. Not in resistance, not in intensity, in quiet compliance with standards you already chose. When control governs behavior, life stops drifting, direction locks in, and once direction is locked, outcomes become inevitable. That is the rule. Self-control is not impressive, it is decisive.